So there I was, browsing the manga subreddit looking for some garbage isekai to consume, when out of the corner of my eye, I see this title. My friend is having an affair with my husband. And after I read that title, I thought to myself, why not? And surprisingly, I was hooked instantly. The story, which follows young married woman Inoue Mahoro, follows the premise blatantly described in the title. One of her friends is cheating with her husband, and she needs to figure out who it is. Possibly. I say this because Mahoro doesn't actually arrive at this conclusion herself. She's informed of it in a very odd manner. How, you ask? Well, just like Martin Luther and his protest against the church, Mahoro finds her own theses nailed outside her door. Well, tied to the door, not nailed, but there's still some similarity. Specifically, a bag with a used condom, ew, and a note that says, "Your friend is sleeping with your husband." Okay, looks like there was some nailing after all. To tie off this incredibly disgusting ribbon, the bag is adorned with a heart symbol only used by Mahoro and Rei to express their love for each other. A terrible bombshell to receive on your birthday, no less. But to further complicate matters, Mahoro has not one friend, but 3. Can't do 3. 3! Meaning that this alleged cheater could be any one of them. And so we're left with many burning questions. Is this accusation real? And if so, who is the cheater? And why leave such a package in the first place? Is it a warning? Or maybe some kind of taunt? These questions and more are what grab you and force you to read. In anticipation, I say. And once you start reading, it becomes almost voyeuristic as you peer into the dysfunctional life of Mahoro and her friend group. It's basically an entire manga fueled by that feeling you get when reading something like an "Am I the Asshole" post. It just doesn't matter, but you're all in. You're here for the whole ride. To that tune, the characters are all incredibly frustrating to watch. At first, when Mahoro begins her investigation into the affair, she does so with all of the grace of a blindsided housewife. Which, to be fair, it's exactly what she is. But just as a particular example, the package she got with the note and the used condom, she leaves out and it's just gone. More than likely what happened is her husband found it and then threw it away, and you would think this would alert him to the fact that she might know that he's cheating on her. Which, I'm not gonna cover what happens with that, but that's the first thing that pops into my head. Again though, she's not a detective, and this kind of came out of nowhere for her, so you know, fair enough. But let's talk about the husband, Rei. The more we see about Rei in the manga, the more the mystery shifts from who is he cheating with to why in God's name is Mahoro with this idiot, cheating or otherwise? Rei is lazy, he's rude, and he's emotionally manipulative. He is such a jackass to the point that I actually believed the twist was gonna be that Mahoro was some kind of abusive psychopath, and he was trying to be such a jackass that she chose to leave him because if he tried to leave her, she'd beat him or stab him or something. That's how I thought it was gonna go. Minor spoiler though, he's just an asshole. But of course, the mystery is the mystery. So let's go ahead and talk about Mahoro's friend group. The group consists of Kyoka, the diligent brain of the group, Momoka, the man chaser, and Ryo, the neutral voice of reason. These are the descriptors given by Mahoro in the second chapter. Ryo and Kyoka are both married while Momoka is single, and Kyoka has one kid and claims to be in a loveless marriage. Ryo answers any questions about her marriage with a simple, it's just a normal marriage. And Momoka has actually been in an affair with somebody outside of the group. So these are sort of the clues we're left as viewers to figure out which one of them it is. Obviously, nothing conclusive there, but I certainly had a gut reaction to that information and made my own guess, and we'll see if it pans out. Feel free to drop your guess in the comments if you've got one. It's always fun to discuss a nice mystery. Anyway, let's move on to the next aspect about this comic, the art. One of the first things you'll notice is that the art is pretty basic. Personally, I think it actually really works with this kind of story. The cute, childish drawings clashing with the adult, sordid affairs, you know? That said, I still had the issue of mixing up some characters, and that might pop up once or twice while reading, so the series is genuinely entertaining. And as the mystery slowly unravels, and you start to shift away from that, you focus more on the growth of characters like Mahoro, and how she learns to stand up for herself and really push for her own happiness. Mahoro is very easy to relate to, especially if you've been cheated on, but also just if you have anyone in your life who you feel takes you for granted. That's why it's so easy to get hooked on this series, and why it's genuinely so satisfying to see her growth as a person. Also, there's a big reveal near the end that is genuinely one of the funniest things I've read in a long time. I don't know if that was the intention, but anyway, this is a very short series. Currently, it has 50 chapters for the main story, and it's being translated daily as of this recording. By the time the video is out, it should be at 50 chapters for the main story, or at least very close. So not too much time, and definitely worth the read. I can't recommend it enough. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate the views. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and give me a subscribe, a like, you know the deal. And also, I'll be talking about something really, really stupid next video. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, as always, see you next week. Who could that be? My husband is cheating on me. Was I gay?